Hello, hello. Welcome back to
And welcome.
yeah, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to be here again in another Tuesday Talk conversation with amazing guests and Tammy, and I'm Lori, and the co-host is Tammy, and I just love this combination. And Tammy, you have an announcement to make, correct? About our Patreon and all that?
Oh, yeah. Yes. So I got so for membership. So be sure I just put the link on our site and underneath Power of Art and Nature or Unlocking Freedom, and it is on our website as well for the membership. So please go there and check it out. We would love to have you become a member. And besides, we
Yay.
have everything else to offer too, right?
Yes, all that courses, retreats, connection retreats, I mean, leadership retreats. You check out our website, unlockingfreedominnature.com, and you're going to be, oh my goodness, so confused as far as like which service, do I choose? But we are here to help you, and we know it's all
And
about
that's why it's really
self-care.
good to possibly just become a member because that's going to give you
Mhm.
access to everything else too. So, and I noticed we have a little bit of delay time, so I'm not trying to overstep Lori on a few things, but I noticed my sound is like showing she's not talking when I start to talk. So I hope that doesn't continue. So,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's some connections challenges, but we're here nonetheless, celebrating the fact that we have here an amazing guest and friend that we go way back. And his name is Martin Altherr, and he is coming straight from Switzerland, correct, Martin? Welcome.
Correct.
welcome,
Oh, thank
Martin.
you. Thank you. Very great having me, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, so Martin and I go way back, and we started doing also like conversations and videos like this years ago. And we have kept in touch with each other one way or another. And I see how he's just so diverse. He just does many things. Podcaster, also coach, and now, as it turned out, he's a writer. And we're excited to have him. So,
So,
Martin. Mhm.
Martin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from?
Okay, I'm based here in Switzerland, living on the planet in the sense traveling a lot around. But mainly I'm here in Switzerland near to Basel, and I'm born here also in the near actually, and have a long adventure of life behind me, and I'm now in a very beautiful marriage for over 12 years. Have accompanied some children on the way, and yeah, did my work actually like over 24 years now already, and which is coaching, mentoring, and therapy. This is my core, and of course, there are a lot of main interests around that core as well. And I'm teaching more or less everybody live a life full of freedom and passion, and live what you really love to do. And so I love to do many things, so I do them as well. So I put sometimes my core business a bit aside and do something else. And I mean, well, let's say that I have the opportunity and the possibility to do that.
That's what I really appreciate observing through the years, Martin. And I know you have your wife, I think it's from somewhere else, and you go visit her home country. And I just have lots of fun
Oh,
watching
yes.
that. So tell, where is she from, and what do you like about this country? It's the contrast between where you are at and where she lives is very, very different.
Actually, yes, and actually no, what turned out throughout the last 12 years. Yes, it's a big difference. Asia, she is from the Philippines, but Philippines is actually through the American, let's say they merged kind of with all the mentalities through the time when America was very present in the Philippines. And through this, it's not so far as it seemed to be.
Mm.
But it's what I like from this country actually is the mentality of the people. They are so open. They are way more open than we experience here in Europe. I mean, you can just stand somewhere and start to talk with somebody, and they will not feel like overstep their boundaries or something. They just continue connecting to you and having conversation with you, and are very, very easy and relaxed on this. So that is what I love the most. And of course, it's a beautiful country, which doesn't mean that I would turn my back to Switzerland, although we are planning to move over to the Philippines, but living actually all over the planet anyway.
That is great. My goodness, embracing different places and cultures. And yes, yes, we know that the world is shrinking kind of like with everything merging, like communication. And look, you're in Switzerland, Tammy's in Idaho, I'm in New York right now, but um it's just still amazing to be enriched with the differences in the culture. And that's so good to know that they are so open over there. And wow, how about nature? What's your favorite aspect of nature over there?
Of nature, of course, are the islands. I mean, that's what I love the most, to be like a bit on a quiet place on 11 hectares of land, and then having just a good place where you can do what you like to do the most when you like to do inner work with yourself. And that is what pulls me actually very much to the Philippines, to build something like that over there. We are just planning it right now. We are in connection with the engineers already, and then checking out the things, and to make it happen, to have a like a retreat place where we can also invite people there. But for us personally, it's like a place to get a bit away from the hectic of the life, and immersing the ourselves. Let's put it like this.
I can totally relate to that. So my in the woods. We have 10 acres here in North Idaho. And you, it's like it's nice to have that quietness, but still at times I have to leave just to get away from work because I'm one of those, if I'm here, I see things that need to be done, even though everybody else can come and relax. But for me, I like to go spend the day out on the lakes or go for a hike or someplace else. So I really enjoy that.
Yes. Yes, that's very beautiful. And that's what we can do here in Switzerland as well. I mean, we have here the beautiful mountains. We can go for snow in the summer if we want. So, and I mean, that's the beauty of our country here in Switzerland. And so that is why I said I will never turn my back to Switzerland. It's more like living a bit here, living a bit in the Philippines, and visiting all the other beautiful places all over the planet, which we are allowed to do, since what I do here
as well. So is to go into nice tropical places in the winter because I think our climate is very similar to yours, probably. Because we have the 4 seasons, and
Yeah.
it's definitely fall here right now. Where the nights are cooler. Yet, like on Saturday, it was 80 degrees. So you just never know.
Martin, I
Yeah,
would like to
that's true.
touch. Yeah, and obviously I think the signal or the connection issues is on my end. I apologize to you guys, and I hope I'm not over speaking over you guys.
Oh, no.
But one thing I really appreciate you touching on, Martin, is this common issue that we all have. Every destination, like it's so funny because where I'm from, people fly there, to be tourists or to explore. Every destination in the world has beauty and is beautiful and bounty and resources that are different from place to place. But like you say, you're never going to turn back, because people fly to Switzerland right now as tourists to explore and be amazed with the beauty there. And you have been there. It's not like I don't want to say that one takes thing for granted, but because they have been there, we have lost sometimes. I feel like this, I'm going to speak for myself. I lose that intentional sense of let me just go on this nature walk and explore and enjoy and bask in the beauty and make these observations because we've been there so long. I love the fact that Tammy still has that in her area, and because there's so many places and little secret places like she calls them and treasures here on earth. And I love her sense of adventure and exploration and appreciation for nature. But like you say, Martin, I agree that sometimes we got to step away from the hustle and bustle, right? From the habits, from the routine of the day, to intentionally take that time off and appreciate nature or appreciate a new place. And then also, I want to encourage and invite people to think about exploring their own place, being local tourists, knowing and understanding that where you're at, there's a very beautiful spot, and what we need to do is just pause, make a commitment and appointment with ourselves, and go there, pack our lunch like Tammy and I did, packing our food to get away and to enjoy. So that's just a lot to think about, and I love the fact that you're going to do a retreat center. Do you want to tell us more about that and why is it important?
I think you just touched a very important point, which many people might maybe have lost a bit. And that is really to, from time to time, and even, but at least once a month, to go back to yourself and to ask yourself, is it still the thing I want to do? Is it still everything I do, the thing I was actually here to do? Or did something distract me and pull me into something which makes me day at the end of the day, and which just pulls me in because I believe I have to do it and otherwise I don't have money, or whatever the reasons might be. But to just really get into that quiet moment of yourself and ask yourself, is that what you really want to do? I mean, I'm helping people for more than, and I help them to be unstuck in very different life situations, be it career, be it relationship, be it financial situation, etc. So I do that with love and passion, and I still love it. And I still love it because from time to time, I decide to do something completely different because
Yes.
I have so many passions and I want to explore and experience that, because that is for me the reason of life, to explore yourself, to get feedback from life about everything you are passionate about. And that I did, and luckily I did it. And many people said to me, "Yeah, but you are in a better situation. You have the finances to do it." Yes, but there was also a time I didn't had it, and it became like that because I did it. So
Ah,
it's often
yes.
when I have, I will do. No, do it, and then you will have, because it's not about what I will become; it's what I am. And
Hmm.
when we start to think more about who am I and is that really what I wanted to do and is it still that what I want to do, then pursue. But if not, then change, then move on, then dare to move on.
Yeah.
So that's what I find very important in that, what you touched right before, Lori.
And
I
you
love that.
talked a lot about paradigms, right? So there's some paradigms shifts that we need to do if we have that limited mentality, right? So what is the paradigm that that person tells you or people tell you, but you have the finances to do it? What's the paradigm shift that they need to act on or change or evaluate or assess?
The first thing is to understand that life provides, period. It
I love
provides.
that. I love that. Life
And,
is bountiful and
and
prosperous and plentiful.
because if now, I guess everybody went already once in life through a situation that was really delicate, difficult, challenging, hard, maybe even really tough financially, and you're still here. Life provides. So if you get the trust back into life that provides, then you're gonna flourish immediately. Trust into life gives us feedback, the providing, and then you have it, and then you experience it, and by experiencing it, you start to realize, oh, it was really that courage to jump over the cliff, which seemed to be 10 kilometers high, but actually it was just a step over a tiny stone.
Mm. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit how you got to where you started coaching? Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about your journey.
Yes, in the very early stage of my life, I was 16. I had the opportunity to study acting, and I did that because I had a big mouth, and so I could enter into a school. Although normally you can do that first after studying and something else or having already an apprenticeship in the profession. I got the chance to get in there because I had a big mouth. It's too long to tell that story now, but just to tell you, I had a big mouth. So I got it. I got the chance. I got a chance of 3 months, and in the fourth month I was then already on stage, and so I could study acting. And then I went, of course, I went out there and doing acting. I had even the chance then in between for a local theater to be the the um the replacement director of the theater for 2 years, and very young age. I was 22 years old, and of course guided by the main director, but I had the chance to be very close and to do that. And so I learned there a lot of things, went out to the life, and then I decided, okay, but I want to have a family. And having a family as an actor out there, I mean, you're traveling around. So either the family is traveling with you, which is horrible for the family, or you will not see your family. So I decided, okay, I have a family. So I found something else. I said, okay, I want to build a jewelry business, which I did. And on our first son came to life, and as a 3 years old, he got the diagnosis that he will not turn 20 because of a genetic defect. Big fall of mine. So I fell there in depression. I fell and fell and fell and was fighting with God, with life, with everything. And when I touched ground, I came to the clue that I need help. So I took touching the ground really to say, oh, when I say yes to death, then I can say yes. I embraced death and life equally, and that brought me like a switch back to life. And that was very, very interesting for what kind of therapy provides this to people. Because my therapist that time and was not really actually in a method that brought me there. It was just our conversations. It was just conversations we had. And so I was studying applied psychology just to get a bit more about it. And it was not satisfying me because it didn't give these switches. Then I was going to Bert Hellinger, the founder of family, learning from him, the whole family constellation stuff. It was also very, very nice. It was really touching how fast you can move forward in therapy with that. But switch I had that time when I was just switching from high depression to an hour later to absolute normal life back again. So a moment I thought even then, okay, that might be maybe just accidentally, but in that time already I knew there doesn't exist accident in that sense.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward more but couldn't find. I was then doing NLP, was doing autogenic training. I was really gathering everything together. And after a while, actually, I have so much gathered now as an full basket of fruits. I could people, and this pulled my heart so strong that I said, I have to do that. I have to open a practice, and I opened that to my that time wife, and she looked at me very puzzled and said, "Are you crazy? I mean, we have this with our son. Then you have just established your jewelry business now. And now you want to do something completely new?" And I said, yes, I want to. And I do not want only to, I have to, because it's my calling, it's my passion, it's my life. And she said, I understand you, and you have to go that path alone. If you decide for that, we're going to divorce.
Mm.
Oh no.
And
She
so
had
it
you
came.
choose, huh? Pick.
Yeah, and so it came. So I said, yes, it's my passion. It's my heart telling me I have to go that way. And I chose it. And so we divorced peacefully. We did not fight. Divorced. So one night I came home, and you can imagine when you are divorced and your children and wife is out of the house and you come to an empty house, it's a bit like you get back into a haunted house, right? It was really empty. It was cold. It was really a cold feeling. And so I sat there on the living room table crying for what happened. But this sentence came up in of these educations I had. Everybody creates his reality consciously or unconsciously, but everybody does it. And by thinking that thought, suddenly a lot of other ideas of therapy, of psychology fall in, and it started to make suddenly different sense. And I started to write down and write down and write down exercises, things which were suddenly coming to my mind intuitively. And at the end, I held like a booklet in my hands, which was full with a complete new kind of way how to apply therapy, coaching, and mentoring to people. And so I went to my that time mentor and said, "Hey, try that on me." And she tried it on me, and I had again this transformation and something that is really powerful. And I brought that then into my developed that, and a few months later, I had already phone calls from senior doctors from hospitals here asking me if they could come to have a treat because it's happening. Yeah, and so I went into it, and that is how we sit now here after years. But I'm still on it, and all that with love and other things as well.
That's an
Wow,
amazing
what an
journey. Yeah. I'm curious to know, like, you prepare that guide or tool, right? I'm not sure how you call it, but then you had someone try it on you and it helped you.
Yes.
Yeah, with some
Immediately, it was
breakthroughs.
this blink of an eye.
Mm.
Yes, especially with the divorce, because that was hanging in my system like glue. You can imagine you actually leave somebody you love for what is your calling.
Mm. Yeah.
And that was, let's put it like this without doing too much light on my head, but it was a courageous step to say, I leave a family for artists telling me that's to go.
Mm.
And to listen to the heart, what you have to do leads then to heaven, I would say. After the divorce, we had a wonderful relationship as parents. We could guide our boy easily and very well. By the way, we led him then with the years to a technique that was developed over the years that could help him. And so today he's causally healed. So he is not anymore in this state of being afraid of dying. So
awesome.
everything is well. He can now live a beautiful life. He's 25 years old now, and he's rocking the world. Let's put it like this. And back to this decision, when you take these decisions, then something happens with you, right? And it sticks. Also, the pain sticks. Although because we are human beings, and we have all to deal with all these emotions, feelings, and even if I could tell now, yes, you're a higher consciousness having a body and not you're a body having a higher consciousness and so on.
Mhm.
But that time, I was not yet on that point. That time I just got this technique. It was like actually a channeling. It was not something I would say I have invented it. I just
Mhm.
got it in and I wrote it down. I call it nowadays the self-transformation code and tell people, look, if you work through that, you can shift fate,
Mm.
literally.
Mm.
And that is something which happened to me, which happened to my clients now over the last 24, 25 years, and which is will continue to happen to people because it is so profound. On the other hand, the question you asked, yeah, how was that to apply to yourself? Yeah, I applied it exactly to that sticking glue of pain. And within a session, it was gone.
Mm.
There
Yes.
was no pain anymore. There was just relief, understanding, and love. And that is what counted for me. That is what I said. That's the thing I want to bring to people, to shift their lives or helping them shift their lives, because I cannot help anybody as such. It's everybody who does it himself, right?
Yeah.
We can only inspire people. We cannot help, we can inspire. But with the inspiration, they can make amazing things. Really amazing things. And with tools, of course, when they apply them, they can really reach amazing situations and results. So, yeah, that is how I applied it to myself and realized how powerful it is and started to apply it. And that went like a straw fire among the people and among the therapists here in the region.
That's beautiful.
That's
How did you get to them? Like how did once that doctor started calling you and things like that? Like how did they
Word
hear
of mouth,
about it? Oh, wonderful.
word of mouth.
Best networking
It really
ever.
like that. Yes,
Best promotion and marketing ever, right?
I didn't
Referrals
have
and
to market it. It just happened.
so
I mean,
I definitely have the entrepreneurship. What I find amazing is the fact that you started with one thing and then it led to another thing and another thing. You kept going, you pursued, which takes courage to do that. And what a lot of people don't understand is sometimes it takes all this trial and errors to find what our calling is. And sometimes we're called to do something for a brief time, but then change it to something different at a later
hmm,
time. And anyway, that's how I feel because it's like I'm doing certain things. Where it's like mentoring, a lot of students or doing different things like that, or spending more time with my grandkids or whatever it is. And then there's times that I need to work on this or this, whatever God puts in my mind. It's like, okay, this is what I'm doing, no matter what, because it's like, why fight it? Because otherwise you can't sleep at night. You know, yeah, I
yeah.
don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but I can't. It's like when
Mhm.
God puts something on my heart, it's like in every dream, it's in every message, anything I see. It's like, okay, all right, that's the way I'm going, no matter how hard it is, I'm doing it. So
I think the most powerful understand that the head is talking very loud and the heart is whispering. And if you're not ready to set off your head in order to listen to your heart, then you have struggles to find your purposes. And I say by intention purposes because purpose can change over time.
Mhm.
Look at life. In the beginning, your purpose is to explore life. Then you found a family to be parents. Life, it develops and develops and develops. These are purposes. And of course, we come maybe with a major main intention. And I call that more in which is in my case 100% sure, I'm 100% sure it is helping people to listen to their heart, helping people to shift their heart into unconditional love in order to make this next leap of humankind, which is in front of us, absolutely in front of us. So when you start to listen to your heart, you can answer with your heart to yourself and then also to others. And this is one of my, let's say, main intentions which I'm following, and that you can do in so many versions of what you do. As you said in the beginning, Lori, I do writing, I do this, I do different things, as well as I do my core thing, which is working with people one-on-one or one-to groups during that period as well. But I manage to do it that, but that
Yeah.
as well, because it's my heart asking me, hey, now you have to do that. And when you start to listen to that, you
Yeah.
cannot go wrong.
Right.
You cannot fail. It's impossible.
I love that. And that's what I said at the beginning, like you're super diverse in all the things that you do and multifaceted, but then that's what people kind of want to run away from or bury their head in their sand in the sand because fear, because oh no, that sounds silly. Why me? Or, I don't have this, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have experience, or that time passed and what am I thinking? And Tammy and I have said it many, many times. Colonel Sanders became famous with his famous chicken recipe when he was in his 60s, knocking on doors and doors and doors. Nobody cared about his recipe until somebody did, right? And sometimes we don't even need to wait until somebody approves of something from us. We need to just believe in ourselves and go ahead and launch it, do it, make it, believe in ourselves. And what I think is also that our audience, if they can just understand this message, that sometimes doing a lot of things, and I call myself a juggler. I am a mother, Tammy is a mother, Tammy is a grandmother, wife, writer, gardener, nature lover. I mean, we wear all these hats, but then also people sometimes just wear the one hat in terms of their profession and they get burnout. They resent it. They don't like it. They Or if they do, it starts to wear out and don't find the joy. And that's what I teach. I want, and like you, Martin, listen to their heart so they can live a life of joy and fulfillment and be positive, and then teach by our example. Leading by example is how others will get inspired, right? Like you're saying, inspired to do the same.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the fear of changing something is often because they see only the very narrowed picture where they are in. And if they would just step back like a kilometer and watch from there and having a look to that tiny, giving them so many challenges, so much around they could choose from. And then, of course, comes the next point. Yeah, when I take the decision to choose to leave, life provides. So if you do something with passion, you cannot. It sounds weird to somebody who has not this, experienced that. But it is so. Life provides in that moment you do what you do with passion, because people need everything what you have to offer. If you offer it with passion, it will grow and will flourish. It's not a doubt. It's just what it is. And I experienced that from tiny boy on. And I mean, I went through so many things also as a child. I mean, all the divorce of my parents, they had really a war of roses. And I went through horrible things. And although life provided, and I'm still alive, I'm here. So I guess I'm the best proof for myself that it works. If people start to try out with tiny steps, nobody needs to say, hey, I'm earning here my money, I provide for my family, I have to cut it today. That is not,
Yeah.
first of all, it has nothing to do with passion, it has to
Yeah.
do with craziness. And second of all, it is because, of course, you cannot believe I just jump out of the window and then I'm in a bed of roses.
No.
It's not going to happen, of course. And if I listen to my heart will lead me to the path that leads me out healthy and leads me in healthy to the next part of my life. And this, for that, from my perspective, The Alchemist, it describes exactly that path of the heart, and it describes exactly what's stuck in your life. And if you read it with your heart, you don't need a therapist anymore. You don't need us anymore, guys out there. You don't need us anymore because you know then what to do, and that's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
So
You
I
know,
want
it's
to encourage
what's
people.
interesting what you're bringing up. I remember, and a lot of the schools say, it's like, got to pick this one career and you got to go to college and got to do this and you got to move up the ladder. So people are so afraid. I remember I had 18 things I wanted to do. And that they're like, you have to narrow it down to one. I'm like, but why can't I try the different things and figure out what I really like and what I'm. Whenever I've worked with youth, they're like, how have you done so many different things? I'm like, because you can try, you can work at it for a few hours here and there once a week, or you might find you love it, you might find you hate it. But it's okay to try things and then try to find your own, like for artists, I always tell them, find your own style. It's one thing to copy to learn techniques, but find your own style if art is what you're passionate for. And then you might find you're not passionate to do it, and you might find you are, and you're extremely good at one thing.
Yeah.
So I always encourage everybody to try, like you said.
Martin, I
Really,
have a
like my parents
question.
encouraged me to try.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Not that it matters, but it matters. You'll see what I where I'm going. Did you
You
have
would not ask
critics?
if it would not matter.
Well, right. So
So cute,
yeah,
Lori.
it depends. It depends. So did you have critics when you made that choice of leaving your wife, your family, or whatever? So,
Of
and then
course.
if you did, how did you deal with that? And what can you tell the audience if they are fearful of judgment from others? That's my question.
Yeah.
Because for some people, it's like, I don't care what people think. And it's not that easy. It admittedly for me, anyways, right?
Yeah.
You're if you're passionate for something and you want to pursue it, you go for it, and that's great, but it comes with a price, and that is a big price sometimes, like, oh, what is people gonna say, and how to deal with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I mean, if you if you take decisions or make decisions that are uncommon, then you have actually the whole world which is around you against you. There might be some friends, there might be one or two, three friends. They say, I stick with you, even I find you the biggest weirdo right now. But
I support you.
this is your gold. This is your gold. Hold them because they
Yes,
help you.
right.
But tough. And if I say, yeah, you have to go that way, you have to follow your heart. Yes, it comes with something that is called also pain.
Mm.
And pain, as I told you before, I was sitting in the living room and crying. I mean, I was not sitting there doing a party. Yeah, we are divorced now. And yeah, they moved out. No, that was the opposite. I didn't want them to go and to move. But through that, they moved. Through that, I had suddenly this space. I could develop something that was meant to be developed. And later, I could meet my nowadays wife, and we are in heaven.
Yay.
We are truly in heaven. And when I look the quality of relationship I had that time, it was a relationship. There's nothing bad to say about that relationship I had that time. And if I would want to compare, it's from earth to heaven. That's the difference. And I never would have known that time that this would happen. If I would have, guess what? I would have done it very quickly, very easily, and I would have even partied for it. But then what would happen then? I change my route of life to a completely different place, which would not allow me to have that heaven because I have to grow. I have to grow into it. So the pain that comes with the people that are critics, with people that are even suddenly against you, that are leaving you, all that builds you to who you are then after that decision. And that makes you first ready to be able to have what you want to have. You remember from the very beginning, I said it's not about what you want, it's about who you are. And you can only become the one who gets what you want to get by becoming. And by becoming, you have growth pain. I mean, look, when you grow from a baby, your teeth are coming out. That's a painful process. That's growth pain. And this growth pain we have also when we develop ourselves towards the goals we want to experience, when we follow our heart.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Martin. This has been an amazing and enlightening. I mean, we've had a lot of guests who have gone through similar. This is what makes us so unique and different. We have guests that love nature, that also have dropped their lives, professional, right, Tammy? Like there was a couple that they had high paying careers and they drop everything to travel the world to follow their passion and purpose. We've had someone that's starting new schools that also left several. He made several. So the beauty is in the journey, right? And what you're pursuing and what you're trying, and everything comes with risks and everything comes. But if you don't try it, you'll never know. You'll never know. Like Tammy said, if you didn't like it, move on to the next thing. But you will never discover your strengths, your capabilities, if you don't give yourself that opportunity. So I want to encourage the audience with this amazing conversation with Martin that um, to explore, to tap into your heart that has been whispering to you, like he says, and tune out, lower the volume on your head, and that voice in your head, and listen to your heart. Maybe write it down. Maybe go on a walk in nature so you can have that insight. Maybe pray to your divine, right? To the divine and ask. I've lived this amount of years. How is it that, because today is the first day, Happy New Year is what I say sometimes, Happy New Year's, because New Year, because today is the first day of the rest of your life. And from today, there's going to be another year. So there's going to be another, from where you're starting, watching this, there's going to be next year, the same time again, the same date again in the calendar, right? From a different year. What is it going to be from here on? Like, are you going to be continue doubting yourself, waiting for the ideal situation to happen? Or are you going to pursue it and consider it now to make those decisions? Like Martin said, like, no, immediately, but to make a plan and make a blueprint for you to live the life you love. That's great,
And
Martin. Thank you.
let the heart draw the blueprint. Don't draw it with your brain, because your brain can only remember what it has experienced. Your
Mm.
heart can envision what is possible.
Oh.
That is what the brain cannot do. And that's a fact. That's a psychological and physiological fact.
Mm.
Repeat what it has experienced. The heart can envision what is possible. And to the pain, I like also to give an encouragement. We were talking about pain, and that can give really fright of pain. And I just want to give you a comparison. When you are in pain to grow and then you leave the pain, you feel great, right? But imagine you stay where you are, which pain you go through the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, do you want that?
Yeah. And then you're going to live with a lot of grief, with a lot of what if, what could have, should have, and
And it leads
remorse.
to sickness.
And you
It
said
leads
With
to
no regret.
that leads to sickness. Is that what you said?
yes.
Wow. Absolutely.
Well, it's caused
Absolutely.
stress.
Yeah.
Burnout was one. I mean, there are many others.
Martin,
Sickness. If you do not follow,
life goes this time goes by super fast when we're having fun, and this has been very insightful and fun. And if
It
you
has
are
been, we just have to have Martin back.
I was gonna say, if you're
why
okay
not?
with it, we want you back. So definitely. What how about you in the comments? What are you waiting for? What have you postponed? And it kind of boils down to this message at the end, right, Tammy? It's very repetitive, very consistent. But that means there's a message here we want to relay with our guests, and these guests have lived it and have gone through a journey that are very parallel, very similar to ours. And you know, we want to send this message out. And self-care is self-love. It's not selfish. And follow your heart. Follow your heart. Thank you, Martin.
Any last words, Martin?
Yeah, I can only say follow your heart. And I say it with a smile because that seems to be the easiest thing. And you will figure out that it takes first some steps to get the head quiet. But then you will hear the whispering, and then you will not miss it anymore.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Martin, for being here. And we want to thank all our guests for being here. And make sure you comment, like, and share. Because when you share, like Lori said, it's caring, right?
Sharing is caring, that's for sure.
It's caring.
All
Well,
right. Hope you have an awesome week, and be sure to check out our site on lockingfreedominnature.com.
thanks for being here, Martin. Bye, Tammy. This is great.
My pleasure from my heart.
Bye.
Bye.